GeoGearHeads.
Welcome to the GeoGearHeads. This is episode 226, one of my favorite episodes. This is a randomized show. By the way, I'm the bad cop with our host, Daryl W4.
Hey, welcome back. Good to be here once again for what is one of my favorite shows as well, the randomized shows. And of course, we have to bring in a special guest for each of these shows because, well, that's just kind of what we do. And we brought back one of our favorite guests for our favorite type of show, and that is Da Bear.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight? Or today, depending on when you listen to this, or this evening, or this early morning. Why aren't you asleep yet? You know. Why are you up
this early?
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you are, hi.
Meanwhile, Limax in the live Q&A says first.
That overachiever.
That actually is going to tip us off to something that we're going to try this time. And rather than giving you a special question that you have to answer, anyone who gives us something in the live Q&A will be entered into the drawing for one of the very, very cool turtles. It's a turtle trackable tag from coinsandpins.com.
Will you send that to him via turtle mail?
No, just snail mail.
Faster than snail mail.
I know, but unfortunately our postal service doesn't offer the turtle mail. Only the snail mail.
Okay.
You know what's
or
annoying?
The carrier pigeons. What's that?
When you're a participant in the Hangout, you can't answer questions, so I can't qualify for that. I'm very upset.
Oh, you're right.
I have anger in my heart now.
Well, if it's any consolation, Dano of Team Poogash says, "Nice beard, Dave."
Well, thank you.
And he's not being facetious about that.
Yeah, I haven't got a haircut since before Christmas, so it's becoming bushy.
Any hair? Any hair on your head has not been cut since Christmas?
I have not seen a barber since Christmas.
Oh.
And yeah, normally it's a 6-week thing, but now it's like a quarter and a half, and now it's a habit, and I just can't now. It's a principle of the thing.
Think of how much money you're saving.
I know, that's like $14 every 6 weeks.
I know.
That's that's a lot of gas to go cashing.
What kind of car are you driving?
An imaginary one. I drive a Volkswagen. They're rated really great emissions.
Yes, that's what they say.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, Team Mavaju has also given us a warning that we should probably take into under advisement, Bad Cop. He says, every time the Bad Cop tried a pun, a muggle demolishes a cache.
Oh, no. Well, sorry, you're going to lose a lot of caches tonight.
And every Thursday night.
Every time you get
as if GeoGearHeads isn't enough opportunity to destroy caches.
That's right.
There's always CNW.
That's right. There's caching in the Northwest that follows a couple of hours later. So, hundreds of caches can be destroyed per night because of me. But think of the opportunity then it gives for new cache hiders to get out there and try their hand at it. See, I'm helping the sport along.
Very true. And
every one of those is a skirt lifter, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's much better. But
that's fine.
Know what? I've got an entire series of caches that I'm going to be archiving pretty soon, so I'm going to open up room for at least 8 replacement caches. And I'm hoping someone else will go out and put them there so that I can find them. I'm running out of caches to find around here.
FYI, if you go to archive a cache, don't make it an event. The reviewers get angry.
I hadn't heard about this. Do share.
A couple of weeks ago on Caching in the Northwest, after the show, during an episode we call
The After Show.
Just had to throw that in there because I had it ready. Land Monkey said, I'm going to archive this cache. So it's my cache. If you guys want to go in there and throw a needs archived, go do it. So several people put needs archived. And I did it as well. It was actually very cathartic. It was like, oh look, I can do a needs archived, and the owner already knows about it. That feels pretty good. Apparently, what we found out through our empirical testing is that the reviewers get an email when a need archive log is posted.
Right.
So the reviewer said, I'll forgive you this time. Don't do that again. Apparently we blew up their email.
Ooh.
So.
Nicely done.
There you go. You just never know what's going to happen. So if you're going to do it, just do it quietly. Don't make it a big event. But what if that was an event, an archive event? Come meet me at the cache site. I'm going to archive this cache. Here's your last chance to sign it.
Or just put nice things in about the reviewer.
Okay.
This cache is gone. It sucks. But the reviewer, heck of a nice guy.
Yeah. Or gal, you don't know.
Or gal.
All right.
Judge.
We have a live Q&A comment here from Limax, who I think he might be a little deluded, actually. I'm trying to decide what's more important, learning a more obscure programming language for geocaching puzzle or a programming language for geocaching app that can make me millions.
No, go for the puzzle cache. It's going to be more rewarding to see that smiley on the map from here on out than the millions of dollars you're going to make.
I'm thinking he's talking about millions of tenths of a dollar. That might happen.
Yeah, because if you sell it in any of the app stores, you're not going to get the full price. You're only going to get a very small portion of that.
Yeah, you get it 70% at best. Actually, no, I don't think that's necessarily true, but you're getting about 70%.
Yeah.
But Team Maviju says, why not do both?
Ooh.
Because there's not enough hours in the day.
That's right. You know, Daryl?
I do know Daryl.
Do you know Daryl? You... Okay, I'm done. Guys, take it from here. That was funny. Okay. Daryl, you know that guy you look at in the mirror every morning? That's Daryl. Okay.
My other brother, Daryl?
You showed... your other brother, Daryl. All right, does that make me Larry?
No, Larry's my buddy who, lives a couple of miles that way.
You showed a travel bug at the beginning of the show. A giveaway.
I did.
Do you know what? That's not our only giveaway. Because there it is. Thank you for covering up that trackable code. People will pause and claim that trackable is theirs.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough resolution, especially because the camera will not focus on it.
Oh, because it's a turtle and not a human face?
No, because it's glossy. And it has a glare.
So do I. I tried to put makeup on to reduce the glare.
Well, that's why it's focused on the wall behind you instead of on you.
Yeah, well, that wall looks much better than this face. Trust me.
It's a face for radio.
You better believe it. All month, we have been hosting a contest that if you submit a review to iTunes, to Stitcher, are those the only two places?
Those are the only two.
Yeah, I got them all then.
Yep, you got it all.
You had a chance to win a trackable. So, the winning review this week, we've read these every week. I think you saved the best for last, by the way. This one comes from Loon Trackers. He says, always enjoyed listening. Watching Daryl and the Bad Cop go over geocaching tips. On this podcast, they always share technical information on apps, GPS, and software to use for geocaching. You also have a few good laughs, and you never know what's going to happen. They have interesting guests with all types of geocaching experience. So thank you for sharing your knowledge. Well, Loon Trackers, thank you for submitting the review. And I'll let you know, you don't know what's going to happen tonight. And we have an interesting guest. We have fulfilled that exact review.
We do. Amazing. And remember, for those of you watching live, we do have this very cool turtle trackable tag thing that's going out to one of you who posts a comment. Now, the only problem is, according to Team Maviju, there's too much buffering happening, so he's going to have to download the show tomorrow and count the puns.
Okay, pun counting.
Yeah. But Dano says that he blames the Googles for the show's buffer issues because he's been watching Hulu for about 2 hours and hadn't had a problem until then.
Oh,
yeah, but
maybe we should switch to Hulu.
Not live.
This is very true.
Is it more Memorex?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it a Hangout on Air or is it Memorex?
I'm going to submit that slogan tomorrow.
Okay. Make sure Hangouts on Air stay around for a few more years. We've kind of liked them, except for this buffering issue. Get that fixed.
All right.
And then keep them around.
Less buffering. More Memorex.
Less buffering, more action. All right, so Chris, we do have some emails that came in.
You know, we get feedback from so many different channels, social media. You can call. No, you can't. You used to be able to call in. You can't call in anymore. And that's still stuck in my head. I apologize for that. You can send in through social media. You can email. You know, you could even give us a review online. Any of those, you got a good chance that we're going to read on air. This one comes from Lafitte FL in via email. He says, I was listening to a recent show about logging and had a comment. I have to vehemently disagree with Daryl W4's assertion that stickers are a good logging option for power runs. Do you see how I'm raising my voice to make it?
I did. I noticed that.
Across the...
I really feel like I'm being scolded.
Yeah, this is Bad Cop's Oscar moment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've come across
that we've just destroyed.
Oh. Let me see if
you
I
can't recognize an Oscar moment for it to be an Oscar moment.
I've come across numerous caches with those pesky stickers on them. You have to open the log and sign it, and the stickers start falling off, blowing away in the wind and falling on the ground. Perhaps it's the heat here in Florida that causes them to lose their stickiness. But I've come to hate stickers. They're a pain for subsequent finders. So if a sticker loses its stickiness, what good is it?
It was certainly not a sticker, but we'll pause. He goes on, but we'll pause there to talk about that one a little bit. And I do know that there are stickers that don't stick very well, especially some of those like off-brand ones are really bad.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of the stickers that aren't really designed to be permanent. So, you know, those are bad too.
If they ever had "Hello, my name is" at the top of them at one time,
yeah,
get rid of those.
Right, and there's a bunch of them that use that same type of sticky material, so it's sticky enough, but not good sticky.
Make your stickers out of duct tape, you'll be fine.
Exactly,
Ooh.
exactly.
Can you run the duct tape through the printer?
No.
Somebody has to.
You can.
You see all the prints on duct tape now?
Well, not until after, not after they've applied the sticky to it. Oh. They run the base through it. But Limax actually says it's not the heat that kills the stickers, it's the humidity. And that's at least partially true. The humidity is a big, nasty thing that keeps stickers from adhering correctly. But I have actually seen the heat, especially when the sticker gets old, kill it. But I think the biggest problem is, honestly, you've got the humidity in the paper that's an issue. And once the stickers start getting a little bit old and, they don't stick quite as well. You've got a lot of different things all coming together to make the stickers fall off the page. But yeah, good point that the stickers are not necessarily going to be the best long-lasting solution. But if you're doing the power trails where every year or so they're turning over the logs, they should last at least that long, unless you get those stickers that don't stick.
Well, then they're not stickers; they're just paper.
Or Post-its.
So if you get stickers and if you get stickers, you have to be committed to find enough caches to use those stickers before they get old, right? I'm thinking 10,000 a year.
Well, you get a pack of the small packs of like about 1,000 stickers, and you have to find at least that 1,000 in the week that you've gotten those stickers.
Yeah, I think
that's start. Fair. You can't stop till you're done.
Right.
So good luck.
And DeBear, you were going to ask about stamps, correct?
Yeah, how about what are people's thoughts on stamps versus stickers? One of the things about stickers, besides the non-sticky thing, is they take up a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a small sticker. Um,
Well, you can make the small stickers. What I've done is cut the stickers in halves or in quarters. I usually use an X-Acto knife, but that's because I was a keyliner at one point.
who to what now?
One of the guys who actually cut up the output from like a Linotronic, if you know those things.
I do not.
Image
Go
setters.
on.
But you used to take the various bits of a page and cut them up and paste it together and then take pictures of it with the camera for printing.
So like ransom notes and stuff?
Yeah.
No, that's copiers. that was getting higher tech. Anyway, but yeah,
that's how he made his first $1 million.
I don't think I've made $1 million yet. Actually, I might have. But in any case, I'd have to actually go back and check tax returns. The stickers or the stamps were something that we actually did talk about, and stamps are pretty big too, and they don't tend to be as easy to get onto the log, and that's why we mentioned the stickers, because you can get the smaller stickers. Cut them down in size to make them even smaller yet, so they take less room. And the stamps can be a lot more difficult if you're doing a power run. Too. Well, you could, but that would be messy. Oh. But I do like the stamps for like the everyday kind of stuff. It's stickers are really only for like the power runs.
So do stickers really save time though? Because I mean, it doesn't take long to write a thing down, especially if you have like a Sharpie. And I speak as somebody who has like 18 letters in his name. But stickers, you have to get the thing out, then you got to get the sticker off, then you got to stick it on the thing, and it seems fiddly. And
if you're doing it well, then it is a lot faster. But if you're not doing it well,
if you're doing a power run, say the ET highway, and somebody's tossing you film canisters back, you've got the time in between caches to put a sticker on, and that's all you're doing, that's going to work out really well.
Yeah, and you don't have to deal with a bumpy car.
Yeah. Because it's stopped. You're only going a tenth of a mile at a time.
Well, yes, but you can always stick them on while you're driving, too, and it's not going to be smudgy, blurry writing. But Limax says there's a few around here that use the stamps. However, the coolest one I saw was a trackable stamp in a cache in St. Austin, Florida.
St. Augustine.
Sorry, St. Augustine. The stamp was stamped in the log.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, I've cached with people who have stamps, and stamps seem to take longer than the signature because we got to get it on the sheet and line it up and then stamp it, and I hope I got it right.
Right.
It's just like, oh, come on. I'm done. I've already signed. I've moved on.
And that's exactly where I am with the stamps, is that I'd rather sign than stamp when I'm with a group. Mm-hmm. And that's why I like to do the group names, like we cache under Motor City Cache Machine whenever we're doing it as a group, because it's just MCCM and you're done.
Right.
Yeah, and you only use initials. You don't use full names, so it goes pretty quickly.
I often just use TPC.
Yeah, and I use DW4 when I sign most things, because most things don't have big enough logs for Daryl W4.
So, as a cache owner, I do not like stamps or stickers.
Well, I like the stamps if they're cool, creative stamps. Like a lot of them will have things like the mascot or a logo or something like that on them. In that case, I like the stamps. I think they're cool. And
those are big enough to take up an entire page of your logbook. Thank you very much. Now I've got to go out there, sooner and change it.
That's why you put out the big caches with the really big logbooks.
There, I have absolutely no problem with stamps or stickers. If you're talking a 120-page notebook, great. Stamp away. Stamp it 3 times on a page. I don't care.
Well, Team Pugash says that he stamps the log with fines now, unless it's a nano, so he does use the stamp. But here's a problem that we have to solve for Shermanator 18. She says her name doesn't shorten easily.
S18.
I was going to say, that's what I would do, is just S18. But Butterfly Gal says...
it could look like Sib.
Sib? Good. You're definitely right. But Butterfly Gal says, I'd rather sign the log. And Limax says he actually signs L when he's doing a nano. Oh, no, sorry. When he's doing a nano, he uses LMX. So, again, it's that 3-letter thing. That seems to be the magic spot for individuals.
So, Limax is literally saving 2 letters.
Correct.
He's putting out more letters than he's saving.
Oh. Pugach just said he signs as TP on nanos.
I don't want to sign after that.
I was going to say that if this were a different show. But Shermanator18 says SIB is close to her real name anyway. And Butterfly Gal says that her nano signature is BFG. Again, for a different show.
Yeah, that's a video game reference there. That's a big gun.
Why don't we go back to the email, though, for now?
Okay.
Ooh,
on another note, Lafitte FL picks up, it's been a year since a moratorium of challenge caches. Any word on their future? And as one who enjoys challenge caches, I'm eagerly awaiting their return.
Well, we did hear from Groundspeak headquarters in the forums with the post called Challenge Cache Moratorium Update. Now, I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about this next week when we have RockChalk on, but we'll go through and read this because there has been a lot of questions about it. Geocaching HQ is nearly ready to announce the end of the moratorium on challenge cache submissions. However, a few details remain to be addressed. We will complete the process and present an updated framework for challenge caches within the next few weeks. In the meantime, we want to share a few details about one key aspect of the new framework. All future challenge caches must include a web-based challenge checker. At this time, Project-GC is the only website approved to host challenge checkers. This is one of the changes we're implementing based on feedback from community surveys. We hope that challenge checkers will make it easier for players to determine the qualifications for challenge caches. Additional details are available in this Project-GC FAQ. That's FAQ. When the complete framework for challenge caches is ready, we'll share that information via the geocaching newsletter and blog. Thank you for your patience.
I'm not sure which one of our listeners wanted to know about the programming language that would make a millions, but there's your opportunity. There's only one Project GC. You could be the other one.
Yeah, well, we were trying to think of other alternatives earlier, and they actually were talking about this on the geocaching podcast as well, and no one could come up with any alternatives for challenge qualifications online.
No, there aren't.
And that's the trick.
And I have to admit, I made a mistake, and I read the forums. The forums are a nasty place.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I've since slept and talked with my counselor. I feel much better. There are people. Well, I have a challenge out there, and it won't work with any challenge checker, no matter what I do. And what do I have to do? Pay Project GC to write me a checker? I'm sorry. Too bad. Well, your challenge won't be improved in the future. You've got it now. Move on.
Well, and this is one of the problems that people are screaming about is, do I have to pay? No. Project GC is completely free for the challenge checkers. You can write your own. They don't write them for you. And according to Taz427 on Geocaching Podcast, they're written in Lua, which I'm not a fan of that, nor is he.
Sounds Hawaiian.
Yeah. But I think that's actually what the checkers are done in GSAC. So that might be part of why they did it that way. We'll have to ask later.
Lua is also a really great embeddable language. It's used by a lot of things.
It's a very common language for doing this kind of stuff. Not full programs, like the Where I Go cartridges were Lua, which a lot of people accuse Lua of being one of the culprits as to why it's not fast enough.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think the reason that they had so many problems with the Where I Goes, among other things, was that they were zips. And those older devices weren't necessarily so good at unzipping.
They didn't have the processing power for it.
Older devices weren't good at anything.
No.
There's a reason why we have newer devices.
Oh, is that the reason?
It's one of them. One of many. It's a complex tapestry, but yes.
Okay. This is a good one from Limax in the live Q&A. Work has the forums blocked as a site with malicious content. No joke.
Yeah, I know. I was there this week. It is malicious.
That doesn't surprise me. Good on your work. They're doing you a service.
He also said that really the forums used to be good when I started back in 2004, but these days I won't go there.
So
well,
what
all
did he do?
forums used to be good back in 2004.
So it's his fault, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What'd you do? Well, come on, man. Sorry.
That
was mean.
Well, I'm not going to get into a diatribe on why forums are bad because people feel that they're isolated from their comments. But anyway, go ahead. Forums bad. Stay away.
Forums bad. So is Facebook. So podcasts good.
Podcast good.
Podcast good. But only when people
tag.
send us. We do. But are forums only good or podcasts only good if we get feedback from our listeners?
Yes. We love feedback from our listeners. Don't forget you can email us. Daryl, where do they email?
That's GeoGearHeads@Cachamaniacs.com.
That's right.
Or if you're in the live show right now, you can post that into the live Q&A.
And there we are.
Yes.
Or you can send it to Facebook or Twitter or Google+. We'll grab your feedback and questions from there and get them into the show.
You can't escape from us. We will find you, and we will get feedback.
Yes. But you know what? You can also put in the live Q&A into a show before we hit the air. As long as the event page is on Google+, you can put in that live Q&A.
That's right.
And then you can really be the first. Because you can be there before the show even starts.
You hear that, Limax?
So right now he's going to all of the event pages for all four of the future ones and posting first.
Ouch. Back to Project GC. Project GC is completely free for challenge checkers. One of the nice things for your payment, your subscription, your membership, that's the word I wanted, is it will go through and automatically determine what challenges you are qualified for. How cool is that, right? You can say, hey, show me which challenges I've qualified for, and it's going to run through all those challenge checkers and show you.
Right, yeah, it's really great, but the problem right now has been not all of those caches have challenge checkers.
No, but they will.
Yes. In the future, it will work beautifully.
I mean, 360-degree challenge, Delorum challenges, Fizzy challenges. What else am I thinking? I mean, all those are on there.
All the day challenges.
Yeah, there you go. Calendar challenges of any kind.
Oh, man. Okay.
There's hundreds of them on there, and they're easy to sort by state or by challenge.
I'm being distracted by the shiny object that is the live Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
And Dano says, Daryl books the shows really far. I'm going to post first in the show for January 14th, 2016.
Is that actually a Thursday?
No, sorry. 2063, sorry, yes. You know what? The problem is I only post the event pages 5 weeks out. So there you go.
There you go.
You have to wait.
And then you can figure out what day he posts the new ones and go there. Just saying, if you really want to be first, you want to be first to log, first to Q&A. Is that an FQA?
I don't know. I don't think we want to go there because we're going to start having challenges based on it.
FTQ, first to question. There you go.
It's first post, man.
Okay, let's move on to Wet Coaster's email. Do you plan holiday trips and then see what geocaches will be available, or do you look for the caches you want to find and then plan a trip around those caches?
For me, it's the location first, always. Well,
Why
almost
is that?
always. I mean, I've done day trips and like a weekend trip, but like if I'm going on an actual like holiday, it's always the location because I want to go to those places. Basically, because once you find the cache, you're done. But I mean, I've discovered places because of a geocache I want to find, but typically if I don't want to go there and it's a distance, I won't go just for the cache. I could possibly make an exception, like I could see doing a holiday around like finding the last Ape cache as an example, but that's a rare example. Usually it's I want to go to the place first and then I look for the cool caches. But I have along the way, like taking like 3-week road trips, I have taken almost a good chunk out of my way to find a specific cache because I was kind of going nearish by, but in general I was kind of going by there anyways.
It depends on what you want to do. I mean, what if you're just one find away from completing your Fizzy challenge or your Jasmer, and you think, if I make a trip and I could plan a holiday around that, okay. So it depends. I mean, some people will do that, but I think you're right, Dave. And the reason I ask you is mostly family. My kids don't necessarily want to take a 3-hour drive just to go find one cache.
This is very, very true.
So, but they would for an amusement park. Huh, who knew? I think caching like an amusement park.
Yeah, I'm kind of the mindset that the only time I plan for caching is when there's like an event that I'm going to, which is pretty much what Sydney said, Terminator 18. Usually only time she plans trips around geocaching is when she's going for a mega event. Now, I don't necessarily have to be going for a mega event, but that's typically when I plan around caching. Otherwise, there's been times where I'll go, hey, I want to go to here. What are the cool caches around that area? And I'll plan my routes to hit those caches that I want to hit.
Or, if you're going on a long trip and you think, well, if I go 20 miles out of my way, I can add an extra state. I've do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've done that.
Exactly. So, that you're doing a trip, but you're adding a little extra to the trip because of a cache.
Well, Limax says he needs to find a better way to plan his caching outings. He usually goes by what's nearby rather than checking favorite points or anything like that.
If I'm not mistaken, Terminator 18 for a small fee will plan your trips for you. Isn't that right?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
That's her new side business. That's going to help her pay to podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Wet Coaster says he's going to Ottawa soon. The challenge checker on Project GC says he's met the requirements for 13 challenge caches there. Guess I know what some of the caches we will be looking for are.
There you go. Up in Canada, and I apologize, I've forgotten where. I should know this by now. There's geo art of a bear chasing a stickman. That bear is all challenge caches. So that's an interesting one, and I'm sure if we wait long enough, somebody in the Q&A will tell me where that bear is.
Probably, and I'm thinking that one should be a destination for anyone who's within a couple of days' drive.
Exactly.
Of course, make sure to plan and hit all of them first.
Right. Plan ahead. Use Project-GC to see if you've met the criteria, and then go there and grab all those caches. All those bear caches. It's the bear caches.
Limex says, I've spotted a few caches in southeastern Oregon that I've wanted to stop at, but we're usually in a hurry because they were a bit off-road.
Everything in Oregon is a bit off-road once you get off I-5.
Well, and we'll be talking a lot about the planning on this kind of stuff in the trip planning show that's coming up. So we'll save it for then, but we have talked about how to plan those routes and make sure to get enough time scheduled so that you're hitting all the caches you really want to hit and to do the drive without, too many problems.
That's right.
But Sherminator 18 did say yes, sure, to scheduling trips or designing trips. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Custom geocaching road trips.
Right. So
.com.
when you need it,
I'm grabbing that site before she does.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, Sydney. You'll have to cut him in as a partner.
Will she answer the puzzles for you though?
No.
For an extra fee?
Cheating.
That's an extra fee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the premium package.
Yeah. It's the platinum. The gold package. No.
Ay.
The bronze package, she sends you a printed map.
Just a link to geocaching.
The silver package, she actually put X's on the maps where the geocaches are.
All right, let's get back to the gear portion of the GeoGearHeads and talk about a new phone that hit the market. Or actually, I'm not sure it hit the market yet because it's not, the final price is not out yet. But Phone Scoop had an article about the DeWalt MD501 rugged smartphone. So this is yet another one of those phones designed for like construction workers, and the GIS guys might even want it, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them. But it's a
before we go on, the DeWalt is DeWalt tools, the black and yellow tools that you know. So when we say rugged, we really mean rugged. Okay, go ahead.
Well, and it meets the military spec 810G and the IP68, which I'm not really sure what that military spec is, but there's not a whole lot of those phones that hit that military spec.
But
and I have
boy,
the feeling,
that's a spec.
Yeah, but I have the feeling that DeBear is going to tell me what that is before I'm done talking about this phone.
I'm Googling it now.
IP66 says it's dust proof. IP68 is waterproof.
Yeah, well, we actually talked about those IP standards long ago, and I don't remember what it is.
So long.
But yeah, it's IP, and then it's the 6 and the 8. It's not like 68. The 6 means one thing, and then the second digit means another thing. So most of the phones are like 67, which is like dust and waterproof, and then 68 is supposed to be like the next step up or something. I don't really remember how that works. So we'll probably get that a little later on. But this is a Android 5.1 Lollipop phone, so that's new. Most of these rugged phones that we've seen are a couple generations old on their OS. So I'm really excited because this is a current phone. It's a 5-inch screen with extra bright visibility, so it's intended to be better outdoors. And one of the things I mentioned, it's intended to work with gloves, so I'm not sure how they're doing that, but that could be really, really cool. And then the processor is a MediaTek processor with 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage, so not really good, but they are including the micro SD card, so you can put another 64 gigs in there, a 13 megapixel camera for the main, and a 5 megapixel user camera, front-facing camera. Here's what's really impressive, though. 3950 milliamp hour battery with Qi wireless charging. So that's really, really cool.
That's a nice big battery.
Yeah, nice big battery. But it's really, really sad. It does not support the US LTE bands. It does support quad band HSPA, which is what like 3G, the really fast 3G that some people call 4G uses, but only on AT&T and T-Mobile. So at least you will be able to use this thing on the high-speed old technology, the HSPA, not on LTE. So that's the only real letdown here. Otherwise, the specs on this phone look good. I'm thinking it's a nice, durable phone. And DeBear, what did you find out about the specs there?
It is very confusing. Like, there's IP codes, but there's like a whole bunch of different things. It seems to be a lot to do with water resistance and drop impact. It looks like 6 you can handle like powerful water jets, and 8 is immersion a meter or more.
I got 6 was totally dust tight, and 8
there's also a 6 totally dust tight.
And 8 was protected against prolonged effects of immersion under pressure.
So basically, you could take it in a submarine and go swimming.
You know, or if the contractor is really stressed, he's under pressure.
Got you under pressure.
We can't sing the song. We don't have the rights to it.
Yeah, but I am happy to see more of these kind of phones coming out.
Definitely.
And there's still not enough of them. One of the things I found interesting was a comment, and I wish I remember where it was, from one of the people who does a lot of the testing on the phones for one of the publications, and they were saying that the iPhone 6S is actually more waterproof in their testing than the S7 was. Yet Apple doesn't quote any kind of water protection whatsoever. So they're wondering if that might be changing in the future. But right now, Apple's just afraid to tell people, oh, yeah, you can dunk it underwater.
Yeah, I find that very interesting. I've seen a lot of, drop test and torture tests on the iPhone, and it seems to hold up quite well, even though it's not officially rated at anything.
Right.
The one thing that always bothers me about these ruggedized phones is they tend to put a slower processor in them because they're so well sealed that they become hot. They don't have a way to radiate the heat out properly. But that doesn't look the case in this phone.
No, we have to assume from the little bit of information we have that it is not going to be as powerful as like the S7. Or probably even like the Nexus 5X is going to outperform it. But this is something that actually has enough horsepower for most geocachers to really use it. The only thing that I see as a problem is that lack of LTE in the US. That's going to be a problem if you're doing like CGO rather, with the live maps, because it might be that if you're driving, where you shouldn't be playing with your phone at all, but if you just got it like on the dashboard, well, yeah, you could be the passenger if you're just keeping it like as the GPS on the dashboard and you're waiting to see if there's caches at that next rest area, or caches along your route of travel that you just happen to do real quick without planning for it. You could be running out the data essentially as it's loading that satellite view or whatever and those caches. It depends a lot on the performance in your area.
Mm-hmm.
Although with 64 gig SD cards, you can cache a whole lot of maps.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And if you're not, you're crazy.
But if you're doing that, I've got to run here for a work thing, and didn't have a chance to do it,
Always cache. But that's enough to cache North America.
Yeah.
Wherever.
I've also heard anecdotally that there are some areas in the U.S. now where LTE has gotten so congested that you're better off to turn that off, because the lower 3G networks, the slower 3G networks, don't have that same usage, and therefore are better at responding to your traffic and give you more data, because you're not sharing it with 120 people on that tower. You're sharing it with maybe 2.
So is there more congestion during cold and flu season?
Probably.
Yes.
Because more people are on their phones, sitting in bed, sneezing all over them.
There goes another cache. Sorry. So I wonder if this phone will be durable enough to go after Lord British's rainbow hydrothermal vents cache.
No, it won't.
But it says it can handle pressure.
Yes, it can, but not that much pressure, I guarantee it. But it would if you were in that submersible.
Yeah.
Doesn't really say what type of pressure. Maybe it's like the pressure of your boss, like giving you a really tight deadline.
Yeah, exactly.
And Limax reminds us that there are still holes in the U.S. for any data network as well.
Boy, is that true. Just come to the mountains in North Carolina. My word. Oh, yeah.
All right, now to try to pick out of the live Q&A who's going to win that cool turtle. So, playing randomly, and it's Limax.
Okay. Limax. Well, congratulations.
And I already got stuff for him that I have to send him, too. So that was convenient. Thank you very much, Limax.
Don't send us anything.
Yes.
And you'll get stuff. How does that
you'll
work?
eventually get stuff.
I've never sent you anything, Daryl. I've never won stuff.
No, you haven't, but I've sent you stuff before.
Oh.
Mostly DVD backups of the shows.
Yeah.
Or archives, not really backups.
And I sit here and I listen to them all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Without fail.
Well,
all right. Well, thank you very much, Dave, for joining us again. And are you going to be able to stick around with us for the patron special?
I can stick around for a bit, yeah.
All right, excellent. And if anyone wants to check you, remind them how they can hit your blog and everything.
My blog is, well, it's my blog. It's debeare.blogspot.com, Debaere, or it's probably easier just to Google, only Googlebot reads this blog, because my last name is a hideous mess of vowels in the wrong spot. You can also hit me up on G+, Facebook if you must, and Instagram if you want to.
Alrighty. Well, if you like a chance at one of the WWFM 13 coins from coinsandpins.com, or if you just want to know more about podcasting, then you'll want to get in on question 229. Send an email to geogearheads@cashmaniacs.com with the title, question 228. Wait a minute, now I'm getting confused. It's 228, not 229, guys, sorry. And your question or comment about podcasting. In the body, make sure to include your geocaching.com screen name with your entry. That's all it takes to get entered into that drawing. If you share your entry in your own voice, then you get a second entry. So 2 entries for the price of 1.
Can you use somebody else's voice as a stunt voice?
No, that doesn't count.
Okay.
It would count for them, and then you could still enter with your question. 2 different questions. Get 2 different sets of entries.
If there was an echo on the line, could you get 4 entries?
No.
No.
If there's an echo on the line, we'll throw that away. But record that audio as an audio file and email it to that geogearheads@cashmaniacs.com if you want to try it that way. But you can always just send us that email with the question in plain text. And don't worry, we won't laugh at you, though we'll pretend to. But your deadline to have those entries into us is May 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern.
That's right. Now, could they send us an email in fancy text as well?
No, just rich desks.
Just plain text? Okay.
Can it be a tweet?
Ooh.
No, you cannot tweet it. No tweets. Not at all.
How about skywriting?
That would be rather tough because we can't capture that and save that into the appropriate folder.
But if you let us know, and we can see it from one of our houses or places of work, we'll give you 3 entries.
Yeah, but you have to give us enough time to grab the camera so we can take a picture that we can file it.
Exactly. You know what? I'd even give you 4 entries for that one, for skywriting. Okay. If it's a balloon bouquet that happens to spell out the letters of your question, that's 3 entries. But, be creative. Now, coming up, speaking of creative, next week we're talking geocaching.com insights with Rock Chalk from geocaching.com headquarters. After that, we're talking about podcasting with... Who's going to be on that show?
Me!
The Bear and Shermanator18, who may have a website up by then, you never know. May 19th, we're doing another randomized show because they're so much fun. May 26th is trip planning number 1. We're hoping to have Shorty Knits. I guess she's uncommitted at this point. And Shermanator18. So there you go. Shermanator18 and DeBear twice within a few weeks.
Check the Cashmaniacs website at cashmaniacs.com for more on the GeoGearHeads, including show notes for this and all of our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us feedback by emailing geogearheads@cashmaniacs.com or through social media. Your support helps keep the Cashmaniacs shows coming. Please consider becoming a patron through the link on our website to support the Cashmaniacs shows. GeoGearHeads is produced by Chris Safnauer and Daryl Wanberg. This show is copyright 2016 by Daryl Wanberg. All rights reserved.